Now, a special bench of the Supreme Court is all set to hear a suo motu case concerning the recent change made in the definition of Aravalli Hills, a move that has triggered widespread environmental alarm among citizens and activists alike. Now, the case in this case will be heard by a vacation bench, which is headed by Chief Justice of India Surya Kant, Justice J.K. Maheshwari and Justice A.G. Masi. Now, viewers, at the heart of the concern is the apprehension that a diluted definition of the Aravallis could open the door to unregulated mining, accelerate environmental degradation and worsen the air quality across northern India. In fact, environmental activists argue that Aravalli Range, it acts as a critical ecological barrier against desertification and rising pollution. So the controversy has now intensified after the Central Empowered Committee cautioned the court against approving mining leases until a final and a scientifically robust definition of Aravalli Hills is settled. The panel, in fact, also flagged risks linked to relaxing long-standing ecological benchmarks in the case. So with the competing interests of development on one hand and conservation at the other, today's hearing is being closely watched as the court now examines whether the revised definition undermines long-term environmental protection or not. All right, joining me on the broadcast is Sanjay Chadha, advocate of Supreme Court. Thank you, Mr. Chadha, for joining us on News9. We're looking at a big verdict coming in today wherein the Supreme Court has now intervened and it looks at the revised definition of Aravallis, whether it should be put on hold or not. Help us understand, because it is an unprecedented, not unprecedented, but a rare case where the severity of the criticism was so high that the top court had to intervene.
Very true. As you have said, and you have very nicely narrated the background, I must say. Look, there was a need on 20th of November last month, about 1 month back. What had happened? A matter was before the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has unfortunately, I'm using the word unfortunately, accepted the definition given by the Environmental Ministry, wherein they have defined what is Aravallis, and we call it 100-meter benchmark definition, which was accepted by the court, and that has created the entire havoc which you were talking about. Now, I wanted to tell you not only that, with that, the important part which is hiding here is this, that as minister has also accepted, you will be shocked and surprised that minister has accepted that only 1.09% of the area of Aravalli will be under mining. It will be undermined by the miners. So what does that mean? If I tell you the area covered in that 1.09%, admittedly, look at this. Admittedly, 1.09% means bigger area than Delhi. So that much area can be under the leverage will be given for mining. That is what is the background. Now, what is this all hue and cry which has come all across the country? We have seen, especially in Rajasthan and Delhi, we have seen a lot of agitations have been happening. So, realizing that, again, today, the matter is taken up suo motu on its own premise the Supreme Court has taken, and they will be looking into the aspect of definition which they have already given. We have to also understand this very importantly, that the last order, which is 20th November order, where Supreme Court has specifically barred for allocation of new mining areas. Now, there are, these Aravallis, the oldest mountain of the world, has its own relevance. As you have in the beginning, you have very rightly said that it acts as a barrier for the desertification. Thar is being stopped here because of Aravallis only. It has its impact on climate. The role of Aravallis on monsoon. The entire monsoon pattern will be changed if we remove Aravallis. then it has impact on all it stops the wind pattern will change. What we are doing, I don't understand. What we are not understanding what is good for our future generation. It has impact the flora, fauna, the biodiversity which is there, people living there. What will happen to that? And we have seen so many instances of extinguishing of various birds or etc etc. So impact of it on flora fauna. So if I keep on giving you examples, like this is the belt which is the richest and the oldest mining belt. It
Right.
has, I don't know what all kinds of minerals are there. So summarizingly, today the task before the court is, which on its own motion, which we call it suo moto, has
Right.
the court has taken that whether this definition last time given by the ministry, the union government, will be accepted or it needs some change. This is the task today.
Right. Mr. Chadha, you've rightly highlighted the importance of Aravallis, especially for regulating the weather system in northern India. And because you understand this way more than I do, you come from a legal background. There was this precautionary principle that we usually follow in such cases. In fact, that was overlooked by the top court in its previous judgment.
Exactly. That, what had happened, uh, I would say overlooked is not the right word. Court was not aware of it. It was not. It was the duty of the environmental ministry to present this particular fact before the court, and the court, the whatever presented before the court, that since ages this is what the definition going on. This is what might have been the case, and the court was able to accept it. And now I think we will see the change, because its adverse impact on the Aravallis is what is very crucial. And when they realized it, they have suo moto called for the case. And on this particular issue today, I think our Chief Justice and the other two colleague judges will look into it.